It's getting out of our area faster and faster. Here is that report of that damage that you heard out of Polk County. That was from Andrea. Look at that. That is the picture that I've gotten off the Telemundo Orlando Facebook page. A tree sheared a part of this apartment building off. Luckily, amazingly, and thankfully, no one was injured in that. People were displaced, but they were taken to a safe place. And we got some power lines down. A tree, a power pole snapped in Pasco County from the sheriff's office. I don't have a location or road on this, unfortunately. This is where we're kind of trying to put these pieces together. But you kind of get an idea. It's anything from power disruptions to maybe some trees, and that's going to be our biggest concern, trees, large trees, falling on structures. For many of us, we may not know the full extent of that until first light, which is 7:13 today. Guys, I'm going to send it back to you. I'm going to continue to track it. It's not over yet. We still have some time to go. The back edge of the storm is moving by now. So the next 3 to 4 hours, I still need everyone to stay put.
Yeah, so just hang on. Okay, right now we've got on the phone with us Rob Shaw from Clearwater Police. We just apparently took a power hit. Do we still have Rob Shaw on?
All right, we're back.
Okay, Rob is from Clearwater Police. He's on the phone with us right now to explain what they're dealing with. Rob, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So glad that you're okay. Can you tell us what the scene is like so far in Clearwater? What are you hearing about what's going on there?
What we're hearing and the message we want to put out, and I think I just heard it from you all, is for people to stay put. That would be the greatest thing that would help us. We've got a number of reports of trees down. We have power lines down. We have a multitude of intersections that don't have traffic signals. So having people out on the roads, whether they're trying to, go from point A to point B or just sightsee, would not be a good thing. It would endanger their safety and ours as well.
Are you hearing any reports of injuries right now, Rob?
As of right now, I haven't heard of anything along those lines. It'll probably take, as we get closer to daylight, to be able to go out there. One of the first things that our fire crews will do is at daylight go out and start going into mobile home parks and going door to door and checking on people and making sure they're okay.
But again, they are not even going to go out until daylight. So that's why it's so important that you want people to stay off the roads, because you do want to keep them clear for first responders.
Correct. And in darkness hours, you could be traveling down a road and you might not see a tree that could be down for the public to just be patient a little longer. We know it's been a tough and a long time, but this menacing monster down in the Caribbean with its sights set on Florida, I think that we've probably come through pretty well. But again, we won't know that until we get out on the streets once daylight is here.
What about power outages? Do you still have power where you are, Rob?
We, here at the EOC at the fire station here on Belcher Road, we're operating on a generator backup, so we have power here so we can continue the functions of the city. But I do know there are a number of power outages all throughout Clearwater, the rest of Pinellas County, and all over the state. That's one of the things that our officers are noticing, is that traffic signals are out everywhere. And I want to reiterate on that point that if somebody is driving, they come to a traffic signal that's out, it needs to be treated as a four-way stop for everybody's safety.
Yeah, and again, you're telling people just don't go out until they're given the all clear, because you're not even sending your first responders out until at least daylight. And then once they even get outside, it's going to take them a little while to assess the situation, to see what's in the road, what kind of debris they're going to find.
Correct. One of the officers have been returning to the streets, and they're being able to assess things. Fire crews will be going out as well. We have city crews on standby and ready to go out and, remove trees from roads, clean up the light poles, eliminate the debris from the road. So we're all ready to go, and we're just trying to ramp up those efforts as soon as we can this morning.
Hey, Rob, I have to ask you, it has been a long night for all of us, and it's certainly not over yet. But how are you guys holding up? I mean, I know that you're tired, you have to be exhausted, but how are you guys holding up out there?
Yeah, I think, fire crews, police crews, they're run down, they're tired. They're not sure perhaps, what their families and what their houses have been through, but, their jobs are public safety and public service, and that's what they do for a living, and they will do whatever it takes.
Rob Shaw, Clearwater Police.
Thanks
Rob,
for having me.
Godspeed. Go out there and do what you guys have to do.
Thank you.
Let's go a little bit further south now. We have Clifton French live for us in Fort Myers.
Yeah, Clifton, the eye passed, we just heard Rob hanging up.
Live TV.
We'll wait for that to stop. There we go. Okay. Clifton, the eye passed right through the community where you are. Can you tell us how things look? And if you can, just kind of be really descriptive. We've got people right now who are listening on our radio partners.
Yeah, so this is the neighborhood that we sat through, and right now Fort Myers is also on a mandatory curfew until 7 a.m. So this is as far away as we can get away from the house that we're in. But from the areas that we are in right now, there is down tree after down tree after down tree. Here is one. Now, if you're watching on TV, I want you to keep following me. Here's another. This entire road right here, there are just down trees on the entire left-hand side of this road. They're all uprooted. There are several palm trees, magnolia trees. There are oaks. The trees that we have here in Florida that are down. Now, we did go out further into town last night as soon as this storm passed. As soon as we were getting the left-hand side, or the south part of this storm, we were driving through town. And we did see several power lines. We saw tons of debris on the road. We saw flooded road. There's the road down here is a little bit flooded still. So and this flooding is not storm surge. This flooding is coming from a lot of it is just clogged storm drains from all that debris getting stuck in there, and then the rainwater not being able to to properly flow away. So there are flooded roads. There are down trees. We did not see a whole lot of structural damage while we were out, but we did see some impassable roads. There were several places with trees going across the street. It was impossible for us to pass, so we had to find a new route. That was until the police came up to us on a megahorn and said, "Hey, listen, this is a mandatory curfew. Everybody needs to be inside." We immediately got back and went back inside. So, I mean, they are out there. They are looking. We did see power crews out there working, though. But I want to tell you, the neighborhood that we're in is one of the only neighborhoods with power. All the power lines here are in the ground. The rest, almost the entire rest of this city is without power, I think, unless they have a generator. The power going through street lights without any without any power, so the street lights being down, we were using flashlights essentially. My photographer was driving. He used a flashlight on either side. We would stop at every single intersection. We'd flash these lights to make sure people knew that we were there at the intersections, so we could get through. But we're not going to get outside down into town anytime until daylight, until about 7 a.m. to really assess all the damage out here. But structurally, it seems okay. The house that we were in seems okay. A couple of down trees, and there was a roof leak when the storm started to hit. But it seems like all of that seems to be okay. So we're going to get out there once sun comes up, and we're going to give you more updates as soon as we can. I'm going to send it back to you.
Yeah, Clifton, it looks like the conditions there are starting to calm down a little bit. We can still see just a little bit of wind, but not as much rain out there, right? Mm-hmm.
No, it's come and go. A little bit of sprinkling here and there, but as soon as this eye passed us, it was night and day. There were some large gusts, but they've just been gradually going down. We felt fairly comfortable to be out in the winds after the eye passed. So the southern half of this storm really let up. It was that northern part as it came through and pushed through. But the house that we were in was essentially the epicenter of that eye as it came through Fort Myers. And the winds got really, really rough during that time, but all of the structures that we've seen so far seem to fare pretty well.
And that's certainly good news. But, of course, people are just now waking up. They're turning on the TV if they have power. They're waiting to see what kind of damage this storm caused in the area. We're not really going to get a good sense of that until daylight, of course, and that's another hour and a half away. We do have crews all over the area. Yeah. As soon as we can, we're going to get you some damage reports. Clifton, stay safe, but as soon as we can, we're going to get you some of the damage reports. We're going to try to show you the area and show you how counties in our area fared in this storm, and we're
but you see
it's not that bad.
You see the difference now. Talking to our crews a little bit north of Fort Myers and then talking to Clifton, you know, obviously goes without saying, the conditions that he faced and he was describing, stark difference.
Right.
And there was again, we need to assess things, and when the sun comes up after 7 o'clock, it's going to be a very telling time. Let's go to some video now. Flooding in Sarasota, we want to show you here. This is Highway 41 in Fruitville Road. The road flooded here on the southbound side. And Dee, as we take a look at this, I mean, that's
incredible.
Again, it's a pretty incredible shot there. You know, I can't say that. You know, we heard from Dennis, from Greg, areas that flood, we're going to flood. Mm-hmm. And that's what you're seeing
This
here.
was expected. But we're waiting to see how bad the other damage is from the wind damage. So we knew that this was going to happen, but we're waiting to see the wind damage and what kind of debris left, and what kind of structural damage we're going to see in that area as well.
And you're also seeing some cars out there. That's an area that I'm sure was under an evacuation order. But again, that's Sarasota and some flooding there. A look at that. I think right now we want to get back to Polk County.
Yeah, it's been a long night for all of us, but especially for a lot of folks in Polk County. Extremely strong winds. They felt that for hours. They heard the howling sound of that wind for hours. Unfortunately, it looks like they got the worst of this storm as far as our viewing area is concerned. Reporter Andrea Lyons is there now with a look at the damage that was left behind.
Hey guys, we're out in Polk County right now. We're still seeing quite a bit of wind out here, a strong gust, but we're starting to realize the impact Irma had just outside of our hotel. We walked just a short way and we saw that our hotel sign completely bent over from Irma's winds just a few hours ago. We know that we were getting winds definitely over 70, 80 miles an hour out here. Completely bent in half at the Gill Hotel in Winter Haven. We have debris all over. I mean, look at this. Letters on the ground from the sign. I mean, that's some strong wind when you get steel bent. We'll take a walk over this way. We have some other damage. Lanai damage to I don't even know what this place is, a hotel or a cafe or something like that. Water right there. But I want you guys to take a look at the screening, excuse me, that has just been torn down from this lanai. So it probably didn't take a whole lot of wind to do that damage, and we know we saw quite a bit out here. We see that there is, excuse me, still a lot of wind coming into this area, so officials are saying, for now, stay inside. We have seen power poles and transformers blown out here, so just a note to stay inside until your officials say it's okay, you can get back outside, which could be a few hours yet. In Polk County, Andrea Lyons, ABC Action News.
Yeah, we definitely want to keep people inside for as long as possible until they get the okay from first responders and emergency operations officials that it is okay to go back outside. Meanwhile, utility workers, they are on standby in St. Pete to help assess damage that's been caused by this storm. And as soon as it's safe, they're going to go out and help people in dire need, but not until the winds drop down, to a safe level. St. Pete police are telling people to just stay inside until you hear that it's okay.
Okay, so deputies doing some damage assessment in Pasco County. A power pole here snapped in half. This is, right there. And look up at the, I would say the top right corner of the screen there. You can see the power pole snapped in half. This is near the Aaron cutoff on State Road 52 in Land O'Lakes area. You do see some wires hanging there.
I have some friends that live around that area. I just got a text from them. They have power in that area. I'll try to check in with them and find out what's going on. But yeah, this is in the Aaron's cutoff area, right off of 54.
Okay, we're waiting to go to Nick Saletti, who is with us in Hillsborough County, and he's been surveying things. And we understand right now he is near USF, where a storefront is smashed in.
Nick, are you there? Do you know if this is weather related?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Sorry, so we just arrived on scene. We were driving around this area, and we happened to see this. Check it out. So you asked if this is weather related. I have reached out to folks at the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office to see what they know, and they told me they are looking into this, but I just want to describe it to you. I mean, we're looking at glass shattered on the ground, and the door frame just totally smashed in. It's on the ground right now, and you see some of the insulation there too, and looks like you see a lot of other stuff around here as well. We're going to back up a little bit because there are deputies on scene investigating. We want to make sure that they have their space to make sure that they can handle this investigation to see whatever exactly it is. But like I said, we do have a call into them to see, okay, we'll keep backing up. We want to give them their space. We'll keep backing up because we want to make sure that they have the space to do their job. But like I said, we were driving looking for storm damage, and we happened upon this, and we stopped to just try to ask some questions. And like I said, we do have a call into the sheriff's office to see what exactly happened here. As soon as we get an update, we'll let you know. But I mean, quite a bit of damage there. Again, you see that whole door frame. I mean, it's just it's totally smashed in there. The frame, it's just off the building right now. It's on the ground. All of the glass from the windows is also on the ground too. I mean, just quite impressive, that damage. But as soon as we get an update, we promise to bring that to you guys.
Nick, I'm not going to try to be an investigator here, but that would, certainly be some of the more significant damage that you found in Hillsborough County. I don't know. I mean, what's your sense out there taking a look at it?
Well, I mean, it's really hard to say, to be honest with you. I mean, depending on the winds, sure, it could have been, but we're not totally sure. You can see they're putting up some tape right now. So like I said, we just want to give them space so that way they can handle the investigation and everything. We're not sure, though. I mean, sure, I guess it could be possible that somebody might have driven into it. I'm not sure. I don't want to contemplate too much or make any assumptions here. That's why we've reached out to the sheriff's office to see what they're hearing right now. But any number of things could be possible. It is quite a bit of damage. It almost looks like something did force that door in and force the frame down. But like I said, we don't want to make any assumptions here, so that's why we've reached out to authorities to see what they've been told. But yeah, quite a bit of damage. Hopefully nobody was inside at the time or injured for that matter.
Yeah, that's for sure. Again, we don't want to speculate, but we'll try to check back in with Nick and let those investigators do their job. They're already roping off the area, so as soon as we get word on exactly what caused that, if that damage is in fact weather-related or not, we'll let you know. Meanwhile, we are checking out some damage in other areas across the Bay Area. We've seen downed trees, downed power lines, huge trees in the road, blocking the road, lots of ponding, lots of flooding on the roads as well. Those are just some of the scenes that we've seen so far.
Well, we're about to go to Sarah Hollenbeck, and the last time we checked in with her, we had her show us a tree that was uprooted. It takes a very strong force wind to do that. Now, fortunately, that tree was falling in the other direction of a home that could have caused a lot of severe damage.
Missed a home, and the family luckily had evacuated, so Sarah was sure of that.
Again,
that area was without power. But again, those are the kind of scenes that we're listening to us right now through our radio partners that don't have power. We showed you a crew driving through Seminole Heights, just showing some of the damage. Tree limbs down in the road, not big tree limbs, but just enough to maybe kind of cause some bumps when you're driving through. We saw fences kind of bent over in the area, but we didn't see a whole lot of structural damage. Now keep in mind that was very early this morning. We're still waiting for sunrise, so things may be a completely different scene once the sun comes up, but that's what we've been seeing so far.
And our crews are all over the Bay Area and our viewing area are preparing themselves, and when we're going to be going to them throughout the next several hours, especially when the sun comes out. Greg D, I want to go over to you, buddy. We're talking about these coastal communities right now, and even though the conditions may be improving for them there, at least on the first appearance, surge is still a potential issue here. Things that the governor warned us about, emergency operation officials warned us about. That's something I think that should be on a lot of people's minds this morning as you're waking up.
Yeah, we're still watching the effects of that, James, as I'm sending out some damage photos on my Twitter feed this morning. Still an onshore flow. It will be decreasing, and I haven't heard any words, seen any reports of how much surge there was. Saw some of that flooding video there in Sarasota. That's kind of a part of it. The numbers did go down with updates because of that eastward shift in the track, causing a farther southern landfall and a weakening of the storm. Those were all good things that worked in our favor. So those numbers went down as Irma went inland. But because the surge, or the highest surge, was expected really this morning, kind of around now between 3 and 6 a.m., we've yet to really see how much of that surge has actually come in. 75-mile-an-hour storm. It is a minimal hurricane, as it's more than 60 miles north of Tampa now. So this is the most significant damage photo I've seen. This is Lakeland. A big part of this apartment building sheared off by a tree that fell there in Polk County. 8 people, residents of this apartment. No one was injured. Everyone was unfortunately displaced. They were taken to